Thanks for joining me today. This is Halloween, and today me and my husband are going to be visiting the Oakland Cemetery in Ybor City, as well as the Ybor City History Museum, and show you some of the sites around Ybor that you may want to visit if you're looking for something spooky to do. Enjoy! As you can see behind me, we're here at the Oakland Cemetery, the oldest cemetery in Tampa, dated in the mid-19th century. It is the final resting place for many iconic figures of the past here in Tampa and Ybor. Let's go in and see what we can see. Here it is, Woodlawn Cemetery, 606 East Harrison Street, Tampa. So it is a very good-sized cemetery. It's about the size of an entire city block. And there are about 1,700 burials in this cemetery. The thing about this cemetery is it has been vandalized quite a bit in some areas. So unfortunately, that has happened. But what I love about this cemetery and what's very unique and something that I don't see often is that they have the family plots, but each family plot is surrounded by a wrought iron fence. And some of them are cement walls, some are the wrought iron fences. It just makes it kind of cool looking because they don't usually section off family plots like that. So each one of them has a gate. You can go inside and pay your respects, or you could just, you know, stand outside of the gate and pay your respects. They do have a lot of very cool looking monuments in this cemetery, and it's a very peaceful place to be. I've visited this cemetery several times. I think it's my favorite in Tampa, and being that it's the oldest, you find a lot of very unique headstones and monuments and even mausoleums. So you can see here around this family plot, they actually have more of a cement wall that goes around it. Makes it pretty cool looking. I just love how they did that, especially since I don't see it that often. It just makes it that much more unique to this particular cemetery. If this is one that you want to come and visit, it is a very cool cemetery. They have a lot of these very ornate tombstones. If you're into that, very cool for photography, or you know, if you're a sketch artist or anything, to come out here and sketch. This is kind of cool. They have a lot of small headstones in this family plot here. You can see the wrought iron fence going all the way around. One of the most unique things as well about this cemetery that I really love and I think is different are these sort of capsule style mausoleums, I guess you could call them, or above ground tombs, where they're kind of like, it's like something you would see, I don't know, at a factory or something. It doesn't look like a burial space, but it is. Like I said, it's not very well maintained. You see that there are weeds growing out of the cracks in the tombs, but they do have the headstone right here at the end telling you who's in each tomb, and it's kind of a cool thing. There's a lot of these in this cemetery. Now I am like right in the middle of the city of Tampa at this location, so there's a lot of noise and traffic surrounding the area, but still a very cool place to visit, as you can see. Now this tombstone here is almost as tall as me. Very tall, just to give you an idea. Standing right next to the tombstone, and it comes up to like my chin or my face, the middle of my face. But very beautiful as far as, you know, the weeping willow on the top. And this one over here has angels. This particular plot has some newer burials. Over towards the end over there, you can see those peachy colored ones are newer. So this was a pioneer family, I guess, of the Tampa area. And so they were, looks like they were pretty well to do. They have a very nice plot here. So just walking along, seeing some of the cooler sites. Hanks, that's kind of a different looking tombstone with cylindrical shape at the top, very large in size. Also, probably as tall as me. Hi. Yes, it is. They don't. I love this cemetery because they have such unique headstones here.
I read an article and it's called Shalom.
Yeah?
Shalom Cemetery.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the most haunted cemetery. It was in a movie.
This one was in a movie.
Yeah.
You know which movie it was?
I don't know what movie it was.
Yeah, I know it's haunted because it's the oldest cemetery in Tampa.
Tampa, yeah.
So, yeah.
A lot of these headstones date back to the early and mid 1800s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was deeded in the mid 19th century, and there's 1,700 burials here.
1700?
Yeah. Doesn't look like it, but there's been a lot of vandalism as well. So.
Wow, isn't that sad?
Yeah. I don't know who does that sort of thing.
Who has the heart and think to do something?
Yeah. What's your name, sir?
Ray.
Ray? I'm Callie.
Callie, my pleasure, Callie.
Nice to meet you.
What's your, you into this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel called This Is Halloween, and I usually do costumes, but I'm going out to visit cemeteries, graveyards, and haunted places as well.
This is Halloween?
Yes.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Next time I'm on YouTube.
Sure.
Okay, enjoy your day.
All right, you'll be on it.
All right.
You'll be on my next episode.
I'm looking for This is Halloween.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice to meet you, Ray.
My pleasure.
All right. Even the trees here are almost cryptic and kind of cool. They do have the Spanish moss hanging down, like a lot of the graveyards we visit. It just adds a cool effect. I mean, it looks like a graveyard, but some of these trees, I mean, these trees have been here for 100 years or more, and they're very large, and they have really cool, just almost like it looks like a zombie tree, in my opinion. That, you know, the exposed roots, and, you know, pretty cool. Almost reminds me of a banyan. It may be, I don't think it's a banyan because of the leaves, but it's very cool. As we walk along here, you can see that the size of the cemetery is quite big, and there's the city bus there, so we are right in the middle of the city. One that I saw the other day, this is a baby, 1855, who died 1856. Like I said, I'm not going to be buried, and I wouldn't want to be in a tomb like that, because you always imagine, you know, if you come back to life under the ground, you want to be able to dig yourself out, you know, in a zombie apocalypse sort of way, I guess. My Aunt Judy says when she's cremated, she wants to be put in a mayonnaise jar so she can see out. True story. So here is another one like that. Like I said, there's a lot like that around here. So this is a family plot, but the wall that they built around it, it's not really a wall, but it's a concrete barrier, is kind of in the shape of a triangle, which is kind of different. You know, it seems like you're kind of limiting yourself to the amount of people you can put in here. Maybe they didn't like everyone in their family, so. And coming over here, this is another really cool and very old family plot with just very unique and ornate headstones right here. This is one of my favorites in the entire cemetery. I just think it's really beautiful. A very large monument, much taller than myself. It's probably about 10 feet tall. It's very beautiful. And this is D. Gira, who died in 1897. I'm wondering almost if this was a later addition, because the tombstone itself doesn't look that old. Perhaps he had an older one and they replaced it with this, because it doesn't look like it dates back to 1897. It's just in very good shape. So what they probably did was, you know, years later, they got him like a nicer monument style headstone. Over here in the same family plot, you can see how old the headstones are. Still very cool though, still very ornate and different, which is what I really love. And just there in the background, we're gonna walk over there. That is the mausoleum of Mr. Vincente Martinez Ybor. So here behind me, this is the final resting place of perhaps the most iconic figure in Ybor city history, the man who brought the cigar industry here to Tampa, Mr. Ybor himself, Vincente Martinez Ybor. He was born in Spain in 1819, died December 14th in 1896, just 10 short years after arriving here in Ybor City and making it the cigar mecca that it's still known for today. Clearly one of my favorite mausoleums because I'm from Tampa and it's just kind of special in my heart. Within just 2 years of his arrival here, the city was annexed to Ybor City. So if you want to know more about that story and many more about Tampa, please go to nightlyspirits.com and take the ghost tour of Tampa. I'm actually one of the hosts. If you want to ask for me, my name is Callie, and I'm glad to show you a brief history of Ybor City whilst having some drinks. So Mr. Ybor's tomb is very large, and it's in actually very good shape, much better shape than a lot of these others in this cemetery. I think they have a lot of respect for Mr. Ybor, even the vandals. So, but just something really cool to see. If you're out on a Saturday, Sunday, you have a day off, come and visit the Oakland Cemetery, because a lot of the people that Tampa is known for are actually buried in this cemetery. So I'm just gonna take some still shots of some of the vandalized tombs that have, well, been vandalized. Just because it is relevant to this particular cemetery. Don't do that, vandals, if you're out there. Don't vandalize people's resting place. You wouldn't want them to do that to you. So I just wanted to take pictures of that just because it's a thing here and it's something you're gonna run into. Again, very cryptic, you know, and it's unfortunate that some of these people now don't have, you know, they have an unmarked final resting place because of the vandals. So plot is actually one of the most unique in here, in my opinion. What I love about some of these headstones is that they have a picture of the person on the headstone. I know that they do that a lot more nowadays, I think, but they didn't. It was kind of a new thing back then to put the pictures on the tombstones, on the headstones. So, like on this one here, you can see has a picture of the man that passed away. This one was really different. Kind of looks like grandma's bathroom floor. It's tiled on the top. So I thought that was very different. And if you see it behind there is one of the larger mausoleums in the whole cemetery. More of that capsule style where the departed are kind of closed in by this very large mound of cement. Again, not something that I would want for myself, but still very cool to look at if you're into that sort of thing and you happen to be in the cemetery, because it's just different. Reminds me of something you'd probably see in the St. Louis Cemetery in New Orleans, because they do a lot of that, the above ground burials in New Orleans. Not so much here in Florida, but definitely there. So as I walk over towards this building, I would be very interested to learn what this was used for. It kind of looks like a crematorium back there in the back. But that's odd to have that in a cemetery. But that kind of looks like what it was. So I don't really know what this was used for. It's locked up. Nothing's happened in there for a very long time. It is something different, unique to this cemetery here, as far as I know. I have not seen that in other cemeteries yet. Over here, you'll see, looks like another depiction of the Virgin Mary that's been vandalized. The head's been broken off. And this is one of the family plots that has the cement wall around it with the wrought iron gate. Very cool. See, this is unfortunate because this could be really beautiful, but it's something you're going to run into if you do visit this cemetery. And again, we have a picture of the departed on the front of an above ground burial. I'm so drawn to these because they're just so different. It's not something that you see all the time. So I just really like seeing different stuff. And cemeteries are one of the best places you can do that. Seeing a lot of unique artwork, even older ones, are very unique. This one says, "Asleep in Jesus." But these are just really cool. This is just a look out so you can see kind of how large it is. A lot of the older cemeteries, like I was saying in previous video, are smaller, but this one's actually quite vast. And here is another capsule type of tomb. These are very large in size. And that's what she said. But and they have the traditional style, very large though, tombstone on the outside. There is a path. I didn't know you could drive down, but I thought it was just for people walking. He looked at me like I was crazy, so maybe I am. I don't know. So I'm walking down. Another famous person buried here that I wanted to show you. Maybe not famous, I guess infamous. He was actually a gangster. This is the family plot of Dr. John P. Wall, father to Charlie Wall, who was actually the original gangster of Tampa. Now, these were very prestigious people. They had a lot of money. Matilda McKay was Charlie Wall's mom. John P. Wall was his father. Matilda McKay came from money, and John P. Wall was the doctor that discovered that insects carried yellow fever. He also was the mayor of Tampa at one time. So you see it here, John P. Wall, and on the back it says mayor of Tampa from 1878 to 1880. 1880 was when Charlie Wall was born, his son. Pioneer in yellow fever research. He has several monuments here. He has this one as well. Born in 1836, died in 1895. So Charlie Wall was just 15 years old when his dad died, and he was a lot younger when his mother died. Here's another one for John P. Wall. Now this is all the same doctor. I'm just not sure exactly where he's buried, if it's here, if it's here, if it's somewhere over here. But here it looks like somebody was trying to dig him up. There's about a 3 or 4 foot hole here in the ground. And then over here, some tombstones that have been misplaced, probably by vandals. I don't really know. But Charlie Wall was the original gangster of Tampa. He is such an interesting person. Everybody in the city either loved him or they hated him. If you ever want to just, you know, find out more about Charlie Wall or learn his story, it's a very interesting story, very relevant to Tampa, as he was born here and came from a very well-to-do family and was well known. But he was an interesting character, and if you ever want to watch or learn about him, there's a 2-part documentary on YouTube. I think it's simply called Charlie Wall, but you can look that up and learn who he was. But he is one of the favorites of my ghost tour. So I'm getting ready to leave the cemetery now, but if this is something that you like to do, visit cemeteries, if you're in Tampa or in the area, I urge you to check this one out, because it's like I said, it's one of my favorites, and some of the most iconic people are buried here, and I think you would really have a good time, get a lot of really good pictures, perhaps even a little something extra. But I'm headed out now. As you can see, we're like right in the middle of the city. Gonna check out some other sites for you on your behalf, things that you might want to do while you're in this area. Stay tuned. So as you can see, the store right behind me here in Ybor is called La France. It is one of my favorite vintage clothing stores in Tampa, probably even in the United States. It opened in 1974, and the owner, Jill Wax, actually lived up in the upstairs loft until her store was up and running and off the ground. So being that it's a very old building, you know, probably from the 1800s, she had a lot of like plumbing issues and things of that nature, but she toughed it out until her store got off the ground, and she actually left the store to her son, who is now running La France. But she has traveled all over the world finding the most unique items and vintage clothing, and has quite the collection. So if you are in Ybor, La France is a place you're going to want to visit. I don't know if they will allow me to film inside, but maybe I'll try. I probably won't be speaking, but just to give you an idea of what the store looks like and what kind of items are in there, maybe I'll take some pictures, but this is it. You have to wear a mask in here, but the men's section is really vast too. Lots of men's clothing and men's hats, suspenders, dapper shoes. It's the place to be. If you love what you kind of got to see a little bit of in La France, they have a couple locations, one in Tampa and one in St. Pete. Revolve Clothing Exchange is the cheaper version. Another place you're gonna want to hit if you're into vintage, as you can see in the window, is Revolve Clothing Exchange. It's one of my favorites, so we all love to save a little money. It's 2 o'clock and I haven't eaten yet, so I think I'm gonna grab a slice at Due Amici. What should I have? Looks amazing.
Get a slice of this guy right here. That's the barbecue one, right? Let's see. A slice of this guy.
How do I choose? No, I think I want this one. No, this one down here. Yeah. Yes. I'm getting the veggie. It has dollops of ricotta on the top. Looks delicious. They all do. Hi, may I please have a Modelo?
Why not? There you go, man.
Thank you.
This one especially, if you want halves. Okay. That way I can just kind of like.
That's fine. I think we'll probably start with a half or slim. Okay. Just
There she is, my beautiful slice of veggie pizza with dollops of ricotta cheese, spinach, mushrooms, and peppers. And it looks delicious. Can't wait to eat it. Of course, I got a Modelo to drink. Have you ever seen the guy Mike Weems on YouTube? I think he's on YouTube. If you haven't, he's hilarious. I cannot mimic the joy and excitement that he gets out of eating anything at all. I'm gonna try though. Here goes nothing.
yeah.
Ooh, a nice crispy crust, just like I like it.
Yeah, it's kind of like if I'm around, people come in and want to check the place out, and like, yeah, I'll back. Yeah, exactly. Hit me up whenever you decide to come by, and like that text.
You will be very happy.
Okay, cool.
I wanted to add that if you are in Ybor City in the morning hours, you're gonna want to come to breakfast at La Creperia Cafe. There's some really cool cars out front here right now. But if you want to come and have a really great crepe, either sweet or savory, and an excellent cup of Cuban coffee, this is the place to go. But this is just the kind of stuff that they have. It looks, when you get it, just like it does in the pictures. Amazing food and amazing coffee.
Next to the street where I grew up at. Well, when they were going through, I was like,
Obviously, a fan of Nutella as well. So if you're into that, you can see them making the crepes right here from the window. And we love to come here and have breakfast. La Creperia Cafe. I'm walking through Centennial Park right now. There's some really beautiful music being played over here. Right here in the park is where they have a market on Saturdays that they recently started up again. I'm not here on a Saturday, I'm here on a Monday, so they don't have the market going right now. You can hear Ybor right now, and it's beautiful. I'm gonna see if the Ybor City History Museum is open today, and maybe we'll go in and visit the museum. Oh, it looks like it's closed today. I'll find out what the hours are for you. But it is definitely worth it to come and visit the Ybor City History Museum. It's located on 8th Avenue in Ybor City. And it is such a cool place to visit. This is the building right here. Ybor City History Museum. And it's only open Wednesday through Sunday. I came on the only day it was closed. Imagine that. Well, Monday and Tuesday, I guess. I love this museum. It's very cool. If you're in town and you want to do something fun on a Sunday, go have yourself some breakfast at La Creperia and come to the Ybor City History Museum. As you can see, it's only $4 to get in. It's very much worth it. And you'll learn a lot of history here about Tampa and Ybor and everything that was going on back in the 1800s when it was established. Right here is the Ybor City History Museum State Park. It neighbors the bakery, the old bakery, what is now the Ybor City History Museum. And it's literally a fountain and a gazebo. Not much going on in there. You can rent it out for special events. There it is. It is one of, if not the smallest national park in the United States. Considered a national park and less than the perimeter of a city block. So just kind of a cool bit of history. I feel like I'm cheating a little bit because I run ghost tours, but I'm definitely not telling you everything. You have to come on a tour to find that out. On these little buildings here, little houses I should say, are casitas, which is Spanish for little house. And of course, Ybor City chickens are everywhere running around. They are also indigenous to this particular area. They are ancestors of the chickens that roamed during the Ybor days. As you can see, these are closed off and preserved for history purposes. So if you go into the Ybor City History Museum, I think you can come into the casitas at your request, just to see how small they were. They're shotgun style homes, very cool little homes that were purchased in Cuba and brought to Tampa so that everyone who worked for Mr. Ybor would have a place to stay. He wanted all of his employees to become homeowners one day. So he brought these over and that's what he did. Oh, look, this casita's open. I think I'm gonna go in. So I went into the casita and it is not preserved to original. They have gutted most of the inside and it's an information center. So if you're next to the Ybor City History Museum and you go past the National Park, the Ybor City History Museum State Park, and you go to the third casita down on the right-hand side, it is open Monday through Friday, and it's an information center, so you can get all kinds of pamphlets, booklets, goings on in Ybor. They have all kinds of flyers and things like that if you're looking for something to do. But being that it's Ybor, you won't have much trouble finding something to do. There's a lot to do here, and I love Ybor. It just gets a little hairy at night, so I like to come during the day. I'm only here at night during my ghost tours, and when my ghost tours are done, I pretty much leave. I'm ready to get out of here. So, but that concludes our tour to Ybor. I hope you come and enjoy Ybor sometime, because I think you'll have a great time. Just something fun to do. Thank you so much for joining me today. Do you like the red? It's something new. I just like to change it up a bit. But anyway, I'm so glad you joined me today in Ybor. If you want some other suggestions for food, I would like to recommend the Samurai Blue sushi restaurant. If you're into sushi, they have excellent sushi. If you want to go somewhere just for atmosphere and to be sitting in the same place as people that probably sat there 100 years ago, like Charlie Wall or some of the ones we talked about, you may want to go to the Columbia restaurant. The Columbia restaurant has been open for over 100 years, and some of the people that we talked about probably have sat in those very seats. So it's just cool for that. As far as the food goes, you know, kind of high priced and average Colombian food in my opinion. A lot of the mom and pop places are better and more affordable. If you want to go just for a cool experience, it's definitely that. It's a cool experience, very nice restaurant, and you will enjoy the atmosphere. Join me next week and we will be going to the Woodlawn Cemetery, so you will enjoy that. And please remember to like, subscribe, share the video. I'm still getting started here, so I'm still very new. So anything like that, a comment down below really helps the channel, and it'll also let you know when I'll be posting more videos, just in case you're not on top of things. So I'll see you next time. Bye.